Here are 5 ways you can volunteer in Malaysia. There are many ways you can give back to the underserved community, especially in a continent like Asia, one of the fastest developing regions in the world. You may have asked, how can I do volunteer work in Asia? What kind of volunteer work can I do? Now, Malaysia is a Southeast Asian country occupying parts of the Malay Peninsula and the islands of Borneo. It's known for its beaches, rainforests, a mix of 3 races, Malay, Indian and Chinese, and even European influences. Now, here are 5 different initiatives how you can volunteer in Malaysia. Number 1. Homelessness. There is no official census on the number of population of homeless people in Kuala Lumpur or any other city in Malaysia. What exists are official surveys and estimates, limited only to Kuala Lumpur. Numbers and definitions vary, but literally there are thousands of homeless people on the street of Kuala Lumpur. While this is a modest amount compared to other crisis level situations faced by bigger cities, the issue nevertheless has received a lot of publicity. Various newspapers have run articles on the homeless topic, and in Malaysia, there still exists the old age stigma that all of these homeless people are drug addicts, lazy people, alcoholics, and they deserve to be on the streets. Several NGOs have stepped up and dedicated themselves to the plight of the homeless. The young people of Malaysia volunteer often to roam the streets late at night, giving out food. Number 2. Animal welfare and environmental conservation. Actually, being one of the 17 mega diverse cities on earth. As the wheel of progress grinds onwards, we can expect that more and more of this wildlife will be threatened, making the situation more delicate than it already is. Wildlife conservation is inextricably linked to environmental protection. Forests, river, and ocean habitat degradations are the main threats that wildlife in Malaysia faces. Number 3. Education. Education is always the main topic that is trending in Malaysia. One of the most intensely debated, long-seated issues when it comes to education in Malaysia is the role of English within the country. Ranging from those who believe English should have been a priority in the national schooling system to those who believe English actually threatens the primacy of the national language, Bahasa Malaysia. More recently, the government of Malaysia has recognized its importance to the economy in the areas of international trade and global business, particularly within the country's aim to achieve the status of a developed country. The lack of English proficiency has created several challenges that are important to overcome, particularly related to the youth and employability. Number 4. Community development. Rural areas in Malaysia comprise a whopping 94% of the total land area in the country, in contrast with the 6% proportion of urban area. Now, Malaysia's problems suffer the same symptom as any other developed countries. Infrastructure struggles to keep up with the pace of development. From the traffic jam that impacts rush hours in downtown Kuala Lumpur, to the startling disparity in development between the urban and the rural areas. To illustrate, a mere 16 kilometers from the gleaming Petronas Twin Towers, once the tallest building in the world, is the town of Gombak. The indigenous families, also known as Orang Asli here in Malaysia, on the outskirts of Gombak, cannot even afford to pay 1 ringgit 50 cent bus fee for the children to take a 10-minute bus to the school. Let us not talk about the communities hundreds of kilometers away from the capital, hidden in the jungles or in the rural heartlands of Malaysia. They lack electricity, water, sewage, equality in education, equality in healthcare, equality in opportunity, and dignity. And the last one, number 5, child protection. Here's a question. Is Southeast Asia child sex tourism destination? UNICEF reported that in the region, the prevalence of severe physical abuse is nearly 1 in 4 children. In 2019, a coalition of top child protection NGOs in Malaysia came together under the name Citizens Against Child Sexual Abuse. Their rigorous campaign succeeded in pushing the Malaysian Parliament to table the Child Sexual Offences Bill 2017. But the fight is far from over. I hope this information helped you to know more about the different kind of volunteer opportunities here that are waiting for you in Malaysia. If you'd like to know more, check out our blog where we list down several of the NGOs that tackle these issues head-on. Life as a volunteer in Malaysia can be challenging, but it is truly a life-changing experience.